I was just talking to John. I'm not calling on you, John. I'm just saying. But you could butt in anytime you want to. And he was unclear. Do you mind me telling them?
Yes.
He was unclear why he was feeling so much emotion yesterday in the Satsang. Particularly, I think it was when you were speaking, Karen. And you were pretty overwhelmed and you left. And I was explaining to him that since we're not really talking about the principles of Advaita, we are entering the oneness. And we're going very deep into the oneness, in that peacefulness. And in that peacefulness, there is really no one here to hold on unconsciously. Consciously, when we're walking around in our lives, we kind of, we know how we are, and we know how we behave, and we watch what we say. We sort of think before we speak, and we're appropriate. Normal, mostly. And when you go into the silence, and we've been going into the silence very deeply, so you leave that persona of I am this person behaving appropriately into really being no one. And you lose all sense of appropriateness. And yet everybody seems to be very peaceful. And when you're open, there's no unconscious holding of the concepts and the beliefs and the energy that's been stored up by all of our pushing down what's unpleasant for decades, for the whole lifetime. We'll just stick to this life. All the times that you stopped yourself from speaking your truth, or you were stopped, or you knew to stop, we have pushed down an awful lot of feelings, energy. And when you're open in the satsang, that energy starts to come up to leave, because there's nobody there holding it. And that's unusual because we're not used to energy flowing out like that. We're used to feeling like we're in control of it. But actually it's a very natural process. And because the energy starts from a feeling of being kind of, emotional, let's say, but we don't really like emotion that much, particularly sadness or pain, we somehow try and keep it still as it's coming up right at the level of me containing it, because it stings a little. But it only stings like a Band-Aid being pulled off slowly. If you just open and let the energy move out, it just moves. It just has its own way of dissipating. And that gives you the opportunity of even going deeper into the peace. And things don't become so personal. You see? Because as people, we're always modulating feeling as good as we can possibly feel under the circumstances. In other words, giving ourselves enough approval that we're okay. Because our mind is right there to tell us we're not. Look what you did here. Look what you did there. Look at this situation. If you were so good, this would be working. It's kind of like you've got your own worst enemy as what we call us. And isn't it a pleasure that it disappears when you're still? But it's always there to stop you from getting still, so that you don't realize the truth of who you are.